Welcome back. In time now to go out to our Hall of Famer, Tim Brown, who was in Atlanta for the Notre Dame game, the loss to Ohio State. Tim, before we get to the big news here in Chicago, because it's been a big news week in Chicago, how do you put this Notre Dame season in perspective? We know you were there, 1987 Heisman Trophy winner. What a great year it was for Marcus Freeman, and the Irish came just a little bit short.
Coach Holtz, I think, summed it up pretty good last night. I was up in the suite with him, and on our way out, he said, "Hey, look, Timmy, if these guys will treat this year like you guys treated 87 and turn this year into something great, I'm not saying that they're going to win a national championship next year, but they should definitely be in the fight for it." And that's what this thing is about, man. You have to have guys who are locked in and grounded to what the system is you're trying to put in place and everything you're trying to get accomplished. And if these guys will take that with them all during the offseason, he feels as if, and I feel as if, this is going to be a team that's going to be there to fight for the championship every year.
So I'm sure you've heard, Tim, is Ben Johnson to the Bears is official. My question is to you, a guy that's played 17 years in the National Football League. How soon should Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams start getting together to work on the playbook, the fundamentals, and the things that's going to help them throughout the season?
Oh, man. Like yesterday, 2 hours, an hour after they signed that contract? No, I mean, this is something that Caleb really, it's tough. I mean, he just learned the system. He was in the system at USC. He was in a new system here last year. Now he's learning his third system in 3 years. So that's tough. But at the same time, there's always some commonality in play calling and things of that nature. So hopefully he'll be able to do that kind of stuff pretty quickly. But look, man, this is your job. This is what you do full time. This is what they're paying you a lot of money to do. Hey, you should be in Chicago getting this thing ready to go and getting together with the players off campus someplace and making something happen.
So let's talk about impact and immediate impact. 17 years in the NFL. You played for a lot of different coaches. I'm sure there were a lot of different approaches. What was one that stands out in terms of a guy who made an immediate impact on the season and maybe the organization, and what would you recommend?
Yeah, look, I think in a situation like this, man, I think we talked all year about, hey, Caleb Williams is a potentially very good quarterback in this league. We talked about the weapons that they have, the four receivers, the tight end, the running game. I mean, they should be able to get up to speed pretty quickly, man, and be a very powerful offense. What has to happen is you have to learn how to win these games, man, and that's going to be their issue. How do they win these football games? How would they in these close games? How do they find a way to finish the deal? And what they're going to also learn once you get the play calling and all that stuff in place, that it's on them. It's not on the coaches; it's on them to be able to make these plays and win these football games. And that is the hardest part of the deal because you can't point the finger at anybody but the person in the mirror.
So Ben Johnson is off the board, and we know Tom Brady was pretty publicly courting Ben Johnson. We know last week you said you wanted to see the Raiders maybe propose a trade for Mike Tomlin. They've both publicly, Mike Tomlin and the ownership publicly have said that's not going to happen. So who that's left here on the board of these head coaching candidates would you like to see your Raiders take?
Well, this is going to be a tough one, no doubt about it. When you look at these guys, Aaron Glenn, I just think it'll be an overwhelming situation for him. Vance and Ron and all these guys, Robert Saleh. If there's anybody, I would take a real look at Pete Carroll at this particular point. I mean, I think this guy knows how to build a team, knows how to deal with the mentality of football players, veteran teams like the Raiders. So I at this particular, looking at that list, I mean, that's what I would be going for. Look, there is a guy out there that will gladly come back to the Raiders with no problem, and that is John Gruden, and if the NFL has cleared him, and I don't know what the situation is, I heard he lost the case, he won, I don't care. The guy's a great football coach, man, and is somebody that people should be talking about right now.
All right, Tim, before we let you go, NFL is down to this Final Four. We have in the AFC Bills and Chiefs, and certainly Commanders and Eagles. Who do you like this weekend?
Well, on my radio show last weekend, I picked the Commanders to beat the Detroit Lions. And At this particular point, I found it very hard to pick against the Commanders.
Wow.
I mean, I think this team right now is just playing at a level. The game looks so easy to Jaden at this particular point, and defensively, it's like I said on my radio show, they're getting these timely turnovers, and of course they ended up with 4 or 5 last week. But I just think that this team right now is playing the best football out of the 4 teams who are left. And I would be shocked at this point if Philly beats them. And, at the same time, not shocked, right? Because it's NFL and things happen. But if they go and play the kind of games that they play without the turnovers, getting the turnovers, controlling the time of possession, and that is the key. And in the last 7 games that they won, they won the time of possession. So if you see them doing that in this game, know that a victory could be coming their way again.
How about the Bills and the Chiefs?
Yeah, look, I mean, can they finally get over this hump, man? Yeah, they beat them pretty soundly during the season, but during the playoffs, man, they've had a hard time for some reason getting this thing done, man. And I can't go against Patrick Mahomes, man. At home, this guy with the ball in his hand, with the chance to win, is going to get it done, no doubt about it, in anybody's mind at this particular point. So I believe there's going to be another Chiefs Super Bowl run here after this game.
Tim Brown, thanks for your time. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Tim.